All right, welcome back to Random City Sports Ballers. Let's recap the season. What happened for everybody? All right, I want to know how you did. I'll tell you how I did, okay? You can see here, I got a 7, 6, 7, 7. Not great on those first four, but look here. We got second place, fifth place, second place, first place, ninth place, second place, first place. So we ended up with 3 championships and 4 second place. Needless to say, we actually made money this year. So the army of pitchers going after the home run hitters, RBIs coming along. That's, to me, that's a valid strategy. I had 13 leagues, 13. And in those 13 leagues, I got 3 championships, 9 playoff appearances, and 7 championship game appearances. So let's take a look. I wanted to recap something here. I wanted to look back at one of my drafts. Just picked a random one here. We look down and okay, let's take a look through this draft. Acuna, we know how that worked out. Bobby Witt, fine. Julio Rodriguez, ouch. Mookie Betts, lots of injury. Garrett Cole, injury. Freddie Freeman, Corbin Carroll, Spencer Strider, lost for the season. Aaron Judge, great year. But anyways, I took Matt Olson and Shohei Ohtani. Okay, Ohtani, that was a great pick. That worked out wonderful. I'd like to go back in time and change that Matt Olson pick. He only caught up to, what is it, 1 short of 30 home runs, so he really had a down year. Soto would have been a much better pick. So anyways, let's take a look. There's some more here. We come on down, and there's Ozzie Albies. We know how that worked out with his injury. Jose Ramirez, wow. That was a steal in that draft position, whoever got him. Altuve, I wasn't sold on taking him that early, but his season turned out great. Simeon, Wheeler, Guerrero, Lindor. Wow, Lindor's injury, that was at the end of the season, painful. Yamamoto, another injury. You know, these injuries, they're going to happen, fellas. How many players have we gone past that were injured now? There's Luis Castillo. That's a good pick. Lopez, down year. Would like to have had Gallen or maybe Kirby. Edwin Diaz ended up closing out pretty good at the end of the season, too. Glasnow, we know about that injury. There's Logan Webb. Max Fried. Skubal. Oh, man. Anybody who got Skubal in the 5th round, you feeling great about that. Evan Phillips. Youch. Rushman, Hader, Peralta, not a bad pick. Bibby, down season for the beginning. And Kyle Schwarber did it again with the home runs, so I'm happy to have taken him. Emmanuel Clase, great season. Aaron Nola, pretty good. Trout, we know about the injuries history. We'll go back down here. I'm going to look at some of my later picks. Look at here's Duran, not great. Would rather have had Iglesias, I'll tell you that. Justin Steele, pretty good year out of Justin Steele. I'm happy with how he performed for his 8th round pick. Heck yeah. Going along, there's Chris Sale in the 8th round as well. Great season. Romano, Torres, Bueller. Dansby Swanson, we know his year was down, but he picked it up in the second half. Teoscar Hernandez, great year, overperformed what people expected. Good 9th round pick. Sonny Gray, another good year out of Sonny Gray. Who's some of these other folks that would have been great? Darvish, down year. Michael King. Lane Thomas, we know about that injury. Who's some steals down here? There are some people who got some absolute steals on Marcelo Zuna, right? Another great year. You know, more than 100 RBIs, got flirting with 40 home runs. Merrill Kelly, oof. That did not work out great, man. He was... Who would I have rather have picked there? Hunter Green for darn sure. Heck yeah, Hunter Green would have been a wonderful pick in this 12th round. Anthony Santander, Bailey Ober. We had another good year out of Bailey Ober. Didn't start out perfect, but he sure did roll on. There's Nolan Gorman. Remember, I was taking Nolan Gorman in some, and turns out he's not in Major League Baseball now. Max Muncy, well... Willie Adames, that was a good pick. He worked out great for a 14th round shortstop. There's Jake Burger. That's a good pick for Jake Burger, too. Paredes, good pick for the round 14. Shota Imanaga is a good pick in his position. Yuki Matsui, not such a great pick, but you know, we're taking chances down here in round 15, fellas. And there's where I took Christopher Morel to be my second baseman. It worked well to begin with and poorly later down the stretch. Nate Eovaldi in round 16, not bad. Is there anyone I would rather have taken there? Maybe Cal Raleigh. Definitely not Alex Manoah. But, okay, moving along. Logan Ahapi. Okay, look, when we're taking our catchers late like I did in some of these leagues, round 17, Logan Ahapi's just fine. There were some fellas you could have picked up. Cal Raleigh, we talked about that. That would have been a good one. Shea Langoliers had an overall good season. And I took Will Smith, trying to find who those closers were going to be. You know, the Class A was a good pick. You know, Finnegan ended up really being a great closer to have picked up in this round 18. Looking along, nothing really standing out as amazing except Robert Suarez would have been a good pick there. And there's Cutter Crawford, Starling Marte, that's had a good fine finish, I suppose. Charlie Morton, yeah, I took Charlie Morton in this 19th round, and then Brandon Drury. Both of those not great picks. Who would I rather have had? I'd rather have taken Brent Rooker in there, I'll tell you that. We all know how Brent Rooker worked out. Moving along to, really, Jackson Holliday. He'll come back around, fellas. He'll come back around. There I am taking Sawinski. That didn't work. There's Carlos Estevez. That worked out fine for a good period when he was closing for the Angels. That got me some saves. And wow, Matt Chapman was a good pick in this late 23rd round. And it looks like I didn't even draft Rooker. Nobody drafted Rooker in this league, so that would have been a waiver pickup. What a steal, man. The guy, don't expect to get him cheap next year. Do not expect to get him cheap, but you may get him cheap, like, I'm thinking 12th round. People don't know who he is yet. You know, you may be able to get him in those mid rounds, and he's still a power hitter. So look forward to that. So this league here, how did we end up? It may not have looked like the greatest draft, but it ended up being a championship draft because of some waiver moves. Let's take a look at who may have been. Wow, this second place, the Cincinnati Reds. They were a good team, fellas. They were a good team. The season is long. It is a long season. There's a lot of moves you have to make throughout the season and a lot of plays you have to keep an eye on. You know, those injured players, they're going to affect us all. Players having a slump. Oh, watch out for those early season slumps. Do not let it make you drop a player that you have faith in. Keep him on the bench, if anything. You know, Rooker started out a little bit slow, but then he came along and just... What was Rooker's... I'm going to look up Brent Rooker. And we're going to do it by checking all players, all batters, and we're going to check just home runs. All right, Judge had 58, Ohtani had 54, Anthony Santander had 44, Soto had 41, Rooker had 39, same as Jose Ramirez, but Ramirez had those 41 stolen bases that a lot of people are sold on, and he had more runs. Marcelo Zuna had 39, 38 for Kyle Schwarber. And keep in mind, all of those are guys that had more than 100 RBIs, so these are great. Henderson started out awesome, but slowed down big time. 37 home runs. Marte, 36. Yordan Alvarez, 35. Cal Raleigh, 34. Pete Alonso, 34. Teoscar Hernandez, 33. Lindor, 33. Willy Adames, 32. Bobby Witt Jr. with 32. Naylor O'Neill with 31. Eugenio Suarez with 30, but most of those came in the second half. That was a nice second half for him. Bryce Harper. Okay, you look at these numbers. Is Bryce Harper worth a first or second round pick based on these numbers? Look at him. I don't think so. I don't know why people are doing that, so stop doing that. Corey Seager. We know he got injured. You know, he had 475 at bats. So his season was cut a little short, but he still had 30 home runs. Decent year. Guerrero Jr. His great batting average. But hey, guess what? I don't care about his 323 batting average. That doesn't matter to me. I don't care about it. Jake Burger rounds out the last of the top 25 bats as far as home runs goes. So if you're looking for the power guys, you know, you've got to stay focused. These are the guys, you know, these are late round picks. Look, Langeliers was 312 to begin the season, 171 for Burger. These guys here were all top 4 rounds. But Suarez, 308. O'Neill, 111. Willy Adames, 137. And then as you come up, it's Brent Rooker that was really the guy. That was the one that really did things amazing for you for considering where you got him in the draft. Santander, you can make a case for him as well. These other fellas, look at their preseason ranks. 3, 2, 4, 8. You know, 9. These were all guys that were going, and Bobby Witt Jr. won preseason. These are all people who were expected to do this. So we stole some fellas in our draft. We stole them with Brent Rooker. We stole them with Ozuna, with Suarez, with Willy Adames. You know, these are cheap players that we got that performed well above what we expected. So anyways, it worked out well. The army of pitchers is a working, winning strategy when you go after power. Home runs, RBIs, you're going to get... Am I saying you're going to dominate and finish this whole thing, first place throughout the regular season, and then run through everybody 9-0 in the playoffs? No. There's still work to be done because there are still injuries that will happen. But, what a season, fellas. Let's take a look at some folks who outperformed. Okay, Guerrero Jr., based on that batting average, pretty decent numbers. Who outperformed big time? We know Brent Rooker. We know Jarren Duran, right? But that's based on a lot of stolen bases that I ignore. Ketel Marte had a very good season compared to his draft position. Willy Adames was a steal. You know, you were getting him in around 15, 16, 17. And he finished as the 21st player overall. Kyle Schwarber, a little bit of a steal. Teoscar Hernandez, same thing. William Contreras, yeah, good season out of a catcher. Corbin Carroll. Jose Altuve finished a little bit lower than expected, but, you know, still overall a pretty good season with his 20 home runs, 65 RBIs. He's not really helping you there. Jackson Merrill. Pretty good year out of him, right? And you got him on waivers. Bryce Harper finished outside of the top 35, but he was a top 10 draft choice. There's Santander and Jurickson Profar, both good picks. Let's take a look at the next 25 because I want to see where some of these other steals are. Yeah, Trey Turner, no. Eugenio Suarez. Fellas, Eugenio Suarez does this thing where in the second half of the season, he's always going to start hitting these home runs. Here's a steal. Jackson Chourio. Not great numbers, but not bad. Brenton Doyle, not great, not bad. Freddie Freeman was, you got him 5 rounds early if you picked him. He only had 22 home runs. He didn't get 100 RBIs or runs, only 9 stolen bases. It might be time to stop drafting Freddie Freeman in the first round, guys. Matt Chapman outperformed big time. Rafael Devers, a little bit of an injury problem there, but Brian Reynolds, nothing special. Pete Alonso, that one hurt you if you took him that early. You got him, you got a down year out of Pete Alonso. Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts was a top draft pick. He was like second, third pick for most people. I don't know why this is 135. Julio Rodriguez, definitely a down year. You won't see me drafting him again unless something changes. And what else we got? What are some other steals? Zach Neto. Oh, wow. waiver pick that got you 23 home runs, but 30 stolen bases. And it's just, when you needed someone to fill in for an injured shortstop, he was your guy. Let's see. So we're down here to Matt Olson. This is one I wanted to point out. He was a first or second round pick, second round usually. And he finished with only 29 home runs. He didn't make 100 on either RBIs or runs, and we don't care about stolen bases or batting average, so no point looking at that. And really, fellas, Corey Seager with his injury kept him from being a much better pick. And I could do this all day long, look through all these numbers and analyze, who screwed up, who screwed the pooch. But bottom line, Fernando Tatis missed almost half the season. He missed a lot of time. Let's see. Freddie Freeman, not great. Julio Rodriguez, not great. Jose Ramirez, great pick. Alvarez, Harper, Ellie De La Cruz. If you wanted those stolen bases, which I do not, that would have worked out fine for you. The guy who took him didn't make the championship game, so let's keep it all in perspective. Gunnar Henderson, just it's a good pick, but it's what is expected. Corey Seager, we know about that. Alonso, here's one. Marcus Semien. That's just, it didn't work out the way we were wanting Marcus Semien. Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker missed most of the year, but still had 23 home runs in the little bit of time he had. So don't give up on Kyle Tucker unless you have some inside knowledge about injuries. Austin Riley, he was doing okay before the injury, nothing special. Lindor, yeah, I'd take that numbers. Adolis Garcia, down year. That's definitely a down year. Manny Machado did what he was expected. Ozzie Albies, a lot of time injured. These things happen, fellas. Don't beat yourself up over that. Do not beat yourself up that you took someone who got injured. That is not your fault. That is just nature of sports. People get hurt. But yeah, so for me, I finished with 7 championship games. 4 of them I lost, 3 of them I won. I was hoping for 4 wins instead of 4 losses, but we just missed one of them. This one right here, this was a fun one at the end. I utilized the last day of the season and my picks that I had. I could still make my waiver picks. And I grabbed fellas that I could. I grabbed Sean Murphy. I grabbed Starling Marte. And I grabbed Jesse Winker. That was a mistake. Oh, if I had grabbed Iglesias from the Mets, you got to play Atlanta versus Mets, and I was trying. Look, he didn't have any moves left, so I was over here making my moves on these batting numbers. I fell just short on runs. If I had 3 more runs for the day, then I would have taken a championship here. So it just is what it is, fellas. Championship week is a difficult week to take that win. Anyways, so let's look forward to next year. Let's be preparing for our drafts. I am going to use the Army of Pitcher strategy. Just happening. That's just how it's going to be. I'm going to go after home runs and RBIs, and I feel like it's going to work out close to the same, where I'll be in the playoffs in about 75%, and those teams are going to be good enough that many of them will make the championship game, and I will make money yet again. I am positive on money this year. I'll be positive on money next year. So I'm playing on, we started out with an investment of $300. Turned it into much more through baseball, football, ended up investing $800 into baseball this year and another $400 into football. And we're playing on house money. We may not have won all of our championships, but we're playing on house money here, fellas. All right. Remember, I want to know how you did. Did you use this strategy? And if you did you get a championship or at least make the championship game? Let me know down in the comments. I'm looking forward to tweaking this strategy a little bit. but not by much. It's all about the players. It's all about finding the right players and avoiding injury and overcoming injury. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, fellas.